So does race and color of our skin and gender have anything to do with high blood pressure? Any of these groups have a higher chance of high blood pressure? We're going to find that out today. The new guideline is that if your blood pressure is 130/80 or higher, you are considered now hypertensive. Oh my goodness. Good morning. June 12th. Can't believe it's been 12 days since our 30-day challenge. I gotta be honest, it's been getting kind of tiring editing all these videos. So I'm gonna actually take a couple of days off. Last night I was just so exhausted I had to turn in around 9 o'clock. But so today I'll try to make it as valuable as possible for you. I'm gonna talk about some statistics. Kind of boring, but sometimes knowing is better than not knowing, so that you can be aware of the situation and you can just manage with that. So according to the stats, 47% of men have high blood pressure and 43% of women have high blood pressure. So according to the North American population, 54% of the African Americans have high blood pressure. 46% of the white population in America have high blood pressure. 39% of the Asian adults in America have high blood pressure, and 36% of Hispanics in the US have high blood pressure. On the one hand, that basically tells you you are not alone with high blood pressure, but at the same time, it also tells you how prevalent it is in our society. You might think, well, what's the big deal of that? Just in the US alone, over 103 million people in the US have high blood pressure. That's almost half of the United States. So if you're sitting next to somebody right now, you're laying down next to somebody right now, statistically, one of you will have this condition or die of this condition if you have high blood pressure. And this past couple of weeks, I've talked about how possibly simple it is to reduce our blood pressure, and we'll go over that again today. But just imagine, so many, even though it's so simple and so easy to do, still most of us do not do it. So would you take some time to do your walk today? 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. That's all we're talking about. 30 minutes walking, maybe a brisk walk eventually, 5 days a week. That's all you gotta do. Simple, easy. It's easy to do, but at the same time, it's also easy not to do. So I'm encouraging you to do it, obviously. So because of the prevalence of hypertension, high blood pressure, in 2017, a few organizations got together and decided to lower the standard high blood pressure range. It used to be that if you had 140/90, that would be considered high blood pressure or hypertension. In 2017, they lowered that to 130/80. So the new guideline is that if your blood pressure is 130/80 or higher, you are considered now hypertensive. Good or bad, it's possibly good and bad. Bad in the way that you have to start taking medication sooner, but good, perhaps, that would scare some people and say, hey, you know what, I'd better do something about it, because for most people, since we think we're normal, range at 130/80, we're not going to do anything about it until it gets to 140/90. So perhaps this is a way to encourage people to do something about their health before it gets too late. So 130/80, I believe, is not high yet. If this is something that will get people to start doing something for themselves, maybe it is a good thing. So, do you remember what we have to do in order to lower our blood pressure? I think we've been talking about it almost every single day now, and I hope that is sticking with you. Lifestyle. Remember, just from genetics, we can alter or reduce our chances of cardiovascular conditions just by changing our lifestyle. We cannot change our genetics, but we can manage what happens to our blood pressure. Have you ever heard of D.A.S.H Diet? Spelled D.A.S.H. That stands for Dietary Approach to Stop Hypertension. So it's dietary approach to stop hypertension. There's actually a diet designed by an organization out there to help us reduce our hypertension because it is so prevalent in our society. It's called D.A.S.H, D-A-S-H. Look it up. Basically, it recommends that you consume less sodium, eat more potassium, magnesium, and calcium, everything we talked about, and continue to do your exercise 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day. Again, easy to do, easy not to do, and I encourage you to do them. And that concludes this week on things you cannot control about high blood pressure. That also concludes today's video. Happy walking out there. See you guys next week.